Cindy Williams vanished from the spotlight, no explanation, no farewell. Behind the silence was a heartbreaking truth. For 5 days after her passing, the world didn't even know she was gone. Now, her sister has broken the silence, with shocking revelations about Cindy's final months. What went on behind closed doors is more tragic than fans ever imagined. Her medical battle was hidden, but the truth is finally coming out, and it will leave you stunned. Even in Hollywood, where whispers travel fast, no one realized just how serious things had become. The full story is heartbreaking. Cindy Williams' journey began on August 22, 1947, in Van Nuys, Los Angeles. Her mother, Francesca, juggled long shifts as a waitress. Her father, Bill Williams, worked in electronics. Money was scarce, and those early years were shaped by constant struggle and constant change. At just 1 year old, Cindy's family relocated to Dallas. By 10, they were back in Los Angeles. Every move meant starting over, and those experiences forged a resilience she'd carry for life. Those restless early years also taught her how to connect quickly, an essential gift in show business. Cindy wasn't alone. She shared a close bond with her younger sister, Carol Ann, and had a half-brother, Jim, from her mother's first marriage. They lived simply, what some might call reduced circumstances. Cindy wore hand-me-downs and learned how to stretch a dollar. With blue eyes, brown hair, and a disarming sense of humor, she found a way to cope with her father's drinking. Her father could be unpredictable, but he also had a knack for impersonations. Jackie Gleason, Milton Berle, and those silly moments became safe havens. For Cindy, laughter became a kind of armor. Church became her sanctuary. In Sunday school, she found peace from the turbulence at home. She performed in small plays, secretly dreaming that one day Debbie Reynolds might walk in and discover her. Cindy would later admit, performing made her feel powerful, even when life at home left her feeling small. In school, she stood out in theater productions, wowing teachers with her timing. She graduated from Birmingham High School in 1965, alongside another future star, Sally Field. Cindy wasn't just dreaming now, she was training. After high school, she pursued theater studies at Los Angeles City College, ready to turn passion into profession. It was anything but glamorous. Cindy waitressed to make ends meet, late shifts at night, auditions by day. Surviving on just 4 or 5 hours of sleep, she tracked 157 rejections before finally landing her first national commercial. Her breakthrough wasn't overnight. She spent years in a tiny Hollywood apartment, paying $175 a month, sometimes scraping by with only $20 to her name. But giving up, never an option. By 1969, momentum started to build. A Foster Grant sunglasses commercial put her on the map. Then came more ads, TWA Airlines and others, that paid the rent and got her face in front of America. Bit parts followed, Room 222, Love, American Style. She wasn't the star yet. Always the neighbor, the girlfriend. But every small role was a step closer. Every part was progress. But one moment would stay with her forever. In 1970, while filming a variety show called The Funny Side, she found herself dancing with none other than Gene Kelly. Nervous and starstruck, she accidentally stepped on his foot mid-spin. But Kelly didn't flinch. He finished the number like a pro. Years later, they danced again, and she stepped on his foot a second time. Kelly just laughed. Some things never change, kid. That messy, real, slightly awkward charm became her signature. In 1971, she earned a coveted spot at the Actors Studio West, a huge milestone. But juggling jobs and auditions left her little time to attend. Around then, Hollywood heavyweights began to notice. In 1972, legendary director George Cukor spotted her in a stage play and cast her in Travels with My Aunt. Suddenly, she was sharing scenes with Maggie Smith, and working under a man who had once shaped Katharine Hepburn's career. Then in 1973, her true breakthrough. Cindy landed the role of Laurie Henderson in American Graffiti, George Lucas's nostalgic, low-budget film about teens in the 60s. With a budget of just $777,000, no one expected it to become a classic. Williams played Ron Howard's girlfriend, but the role hit closer to home than anyone knew. She once said she channeled real heartbreak into that performance. Her own boyfriend had left her for someone else, telling her they should see other people. That wound made its way onto the screen, and audiences felt it. The dance scene with Howard, where they force smiles while quietly arguing to "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes," became one of the film's most emotionally charged moments. Lucas noticed, and rewrote parts of the script to give her character more depth. Unlike some of her co-stars, Cindy came prepared. She'd already worked with Cukor on Travels with My Aunt. But American Graffiti was a turning point. In 1975, it earned her a BAFTA nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She didn't win, Ingrid Bergman did, but the nomination alone was a signal. Cindy Williams had arrived. Williams had fought hard to reach that point. She'd climbed from waitressing tables to starring in a film that launched the careers of future legends: Ron Howard, Harrison Ford, Richard Dreyfuss. The casting for American Graffiti was fierce. Over 100 unknown actors auditioned, including a young Mark Hamill. But it was producer Fred Roos, who'd worked on The Godfather, who saw something special in her. That belief changed everything. Her connection with the American Graffiti cast ran deeper than the screen. She and Ron Howard had natural chemistry, which sparked something unexpected. By 1975, Howard had become Richie Cunningham on Happy Days, and he got Cindy a guest role. That single appearance transformed her life. Paired with Penny Marshall, their chemistry electrified audiences. Gary Marshall, Penny's brother and the creator of Happy Days, saw that spark and immediately launched Laverne Shirley. But Penny and Cindy weren't strangers. They'd already been friends for years. American Graffiti also introduced Cindy to Harrison Ford, who was still working as a carpenter at the time. Fred Roos convinced Ford to play the rebellious Bob Falfa. Their paths crossed again in Francis Ford Coppola's next film. Coppola saw Williams in American Graffiti and cast her in The Conversation, 1974. During the same era he was crafting The Godfather saga. In The Conversation, she acted alongside Gene Hackman, John Cazale, Terry Garr, and a young Harrison Ford. Robert Duvall had an uncredited role. The film's tense story of paranoia and surveillance won the top prize at Cannes and earned 3 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Williams later compared the directing styles of Lucas and Coppola. Lucas was quiet and brief, often just saying "terrific" after a take. Coppola, on the other hand, was energetic, constantly praising actors and asking for their input. Both directors left a lasting mark on her. Yet something strange happened. After starring in Travels with My Aunt, American Graffiti, and The Conversation, 3 critically acclaimed films, her career suddenly hit a wall. It didn't add up. She was too recognizable to return to waitressing, but big film roles weren't coming either. To stay busy, she began writing with Penny Marshall. They joined a small group of female writers at Coppola's Zoetrope Productions, earning just $30 a week. At the time, it seemed like no big deal. 2 women trying to break into Hollywood. But while writing, they formed a powerful creative bond. They learned to bounce ideas, punch up jokes, and unknowingly built the chemistry that would one day define their careers. Then, in late 1975, everything changed with a phone call. Gary Marshall, creator of Happy Days, asked him to take a week off and play 2 girls going on a double date with Fonzie and Richie. Cindy laughed at how Gary described the girls as the girls who date the fleet. She joked, "Bookers, this will be fun." They didn't expect much. Just 1 episode, a quick paycheck, and a silly role. So they agreed. On November 11, 1975, they walked onto the Paramount lot, unaware they were about to make TV history. When the episode aired January 27, 1976, viewers instantly fell for the 2 Milwaukee girls. Cindy played Shirley, the sweet one. Penny was Laverne, the tough one. In the episode, Richie asks Fonzie for help after a breakup, and Fonzie sets up a double date with Laverne and Shirley. Simple setup, but audiences couldn't get enough. What started as a small gag became a breakout moment. Penny later said they were originally meant to be the girls who put out, a version quickly cleaned up after ABC saw their potential. Behind the scenes, their chemistry was electric. Everyone noticed, the crew, the live audience, the producers. Nobody could ignore it. There's even a hilarious blooper where Tom Bosley, playing Mr. Cunningham, stands behind a door waiting for his cue, visible through a window. But the spotlight shifted. No longer Richie or Fonzie's show, the 2 women stole every scene. Just 2 weeks later, another call came, from Gary Marshall's office again. ABC executives had watched the episode. They didn't want guest stars, they wanted a whole show. Cindy and Penny had no idea what a spin-off was. They had to ask. All they knew, something big was coming. The connection between them went beyond acting. Williams said it felt like telepathy. They barely rehearsed, they just knew what the other would do, took her scripts seriously, studying them until the last minute. Penny barely glanced at hers but nailed it anyway, smoking a cigarette, cracking jokes, and ready to roll. Somehow, it worked. Their differences made their partnership stronger. Because of her chemistry with Penny, Cindy landed the next big project. On January 27, 1976, Laverne and Amp, Shirley debuted. Within months, it exploded. By fall, it did the impossible, beating Happy Days in the ratings. At its peak, over 60 million viewers tuned in weekly. Cindy, once known from American Graffiti, became a household name. Her face was everywhere, in magazines, on lunchboxes, in living rooms across America. The opening chant, Schlemiel, Schlemizel, Hassenpfeffer, Incorporated, became a playground staple. By 1979, she was earning $30,000 per episode, massive money for any actress back then. Cindy didn't just play Shirley Feeney, she built her. She gave Shirley a nervous laugh, practiced it for weeks before filming the first episode. She thought deeply about the character, even keeping personal journals as Shirley. It was her idea to give Shirley stuffed animals like Boo Boo Kitty and dress her in neat sweaters, contrasting with Laverne's tomboy style and making the show pop. By 1979, women walked into salons asking for the Shirley haircut. Cindy received over 1,500 fan letters every week. People didn't just like Shirley, they felt her. But behind that sweet smile and gentle voice was a tough performer. Cindy did nearly all her own stunts. The physical comedy was no joke. In one 1978 episode, she wrestled bottles on a conveyor belt for 37 takes. She suffered 3 bruised ribs but kept going. For roller skating scenes in 1977, she did splits on camera, with zero skating experience. She even got frostbite filming skiing scenes for hours in freezing cold. Before the show, she trained with vaudeville performers. She and Penny once rehearsed a 3-minute routine for over 50 hours. Her fearless stunts earned her the nickname, the female Buster Keaton. In January 1978, her work earned serious recognition, a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress in a Comedy. She was up against legends like Carol Burnett and Gene Stapleton. Though she didn't win, the nomination changed everything. The industry now saw her as more than half of a duo. Studios offered big deals, starring roles, creative control. She turned them all down. Loyalty to Laverne and Amp, Shirley came first. That loyalty paid off. Her contract gave her more power than most actresses had in that era. But then things began to unravel. In 1980, the show moved from Milwaukee to California. The brewery jobs disappeared. So did the magic. According to her lawsuit, Gary Marshall tried to push her out because of her pregnancy. She claimed the studio promised accommodations. Writing her pregnancy into the story, safe work until October, full $75,000 per episode, plus $37,500 per rerun. Then they backed out. Cindy felt betrayed. The deal was off. She faced an impossible choice, her baby or her career. In August 1982, she filed a $20 million lawsuit against Paramount, half general damages, half punitive. Her husband supported her but caused tension on set. Penny Marshall later admitted she didn't get along with Bill Hudson, saying he made things harder. Everything escalated fast. Cindy appeared in only 2 episodes of season 8, then Shirley vanished. No goodbye, no send-off. Just a note saying she'd moved with her husband. Viewers were shocked. The show kept the name Laverne and Amp, Shirley, even though it was now just Laverne. Penny Marshall had to face confused fans asking, "Where's Cindy?" She called the whole thing a drag. Cindy's exit from one of TV's biggest hits came at a huge cost. She walked away from a $1.65 million contract, not counting reruns. The lawsuit was settled quietly, but the damage was done. Her future in Hollywood suddenly looked uncertain. Rumors swirled, some said she made outrageous demands, others blamed a feud with Penny. But Cindy stayed mostly quiet, focusing on motherhood. When Cindy Williams married Bill Hudson on May 1, 1982, it wasn't just a wedding. It was the start of a messy, emotional roller coaster. Bill had just finalized his divorce from Goldie Hawn, and Cindy stepped into a complicated family. Overnight, she became stepmother to 6-year-old Oliver and 3-year-old Kate Hudson, both future Hollywood stars. But back then, the family was far from picture perfect. Tensions ran deep. Bill's relationship with Oliver and Kate was strained from the start, and only worsened over time. Wow, what a journey Cindy Williams had, from early Hollywood breakthroughs and iconic sitcom stardom to pioneering changes for pregnant actresses, and then navigating a complex family and evolving career with resilience. Her story is full of ups and downs, the breakthrough with American Graffiti, then the huge success of Laverne and Shirley and the painful exit over pregnancy rights, followed by a long, steady career shift into TV movies, theater, and more nuanced roles like on Law and Order SVU. And personally, her marriage to Bill Hudson brought a tangled family dynamic that echoed Hollywood's complicated realities off-screen. Her impact clearly went beyond just entertainment, pushing for better treatment of pregnant women on set, redefining what it meant to be a TV star, and showing her ability to adapt across decades in a tough industry. In 2009, Cindy Williams starred as a psychic in Blithe Spirit in Pasadena, performing 96 shows without missing a single one. She also toured with former co-star Eddie Mecca in the romantic comedy Lunch Hour. At 64, Cindy reflected, "Television made me famous, but theater makes me feel alive every night." She wasn't chasing fame anymore, she was chasing joy. In 2015, Cindy released her memoir, Shirley, which sold 48,000 copies in its first month and reached number 7 on the Los Angeles Times bestseller list. The book revealed Hollywood's darker side, including how studio executives pressured her to film just 6 weeks after giving birth. She also disclosed turning down roles in Airplane and Jaws 2 due to scheduling conflicts, recounted a brief fling with Andy Kaufman, and candidly shared her long battle with depression following the cancellation of Laverne and Shirley. Cindy went on a 15-city book tour, meeting fans and even bringing the iconic Schliessel sweater from the show. The memoir was more than a career recap, it was her way of setting the record straight. In 2018, at age 71, she returned to film with Still Waiting in the Wings, a small indie movie about struggling performers in New York. The story resonated deeply, echoing her own experience waiting tables while chasing her dreams. The film, co-starring legends Edna and Chita Rivera, brought humor and heart to a new generation and won 5 awards. Even in her 70s, Cindy showed up ready to work and mentor young talent. Throughout her life, one relationship remained central: her friendship with Penny Marshall. Their bond fractured when Cindy was forced off Laverne and Shirley, leaving both feeling abandoned and alone. They didn't speak for 15 years until 1997, when Penny reached out after her own marriage ended. They cried, forgave, and began anew. By 2012, they reunited on Good Morning America with their old castmates and later appeared together on Sam and Cat, poking fun at the shared past. It was more than a reunion, it was healing. In late 2022, Cindy's health began to decline, but she kept it private. She quietly withdrew from the spotlight, cancelling appearances for her successful one-woman show Me, Myself, and Shirley. Only close family and trusted friends knew the severity of her illness. Cindy didn't want sympathy or attention, she wanted peace and to protect her work from being overshadowed. Even while undergoing treatment, she continued reading scripts and thinking about future projects, embodying her lifelong dedication to her craft. By early January 2023, her condition worsened, yet no public announcements were made. Cindy passed away peacefully on January 25, 2023, in Los Angeles at age 75. Her family waited 5 days before sharing the news. Her children, Zach and Emily Hudson, released a heartfelt statement through family spokeswoman Liza Kranis, expressing their profound sadness and celebrating their mother's kindness, humor, generosity, and vibrant spirit. The timing of her passing was deeply moving, just 5 years after the death of her longtime friend and Laverne and Shirley co-star Penny Marshall, who also died at 75 in December 2018 from diabetes complications. Their careers had always been intertwined, and now, so were their final chapters.